Welcome to Lifestyle Solopreneur, the community for entrepreneurs who put lifestyle first. Join your host Flavia Barris as she interviews successful lifestyle solopreneurs and shares ideas to help you find the perfect balance between lifestyle, business, and self. Flavia is an attorney, marketing expert, and founder of several online academies. She's been featured in major media, including BBC World News, The Wall Street Journal, The New York Post, ESPN Television, and more. Join us for this episode of Lifestyle Solopreneur. Hey, Lifestyle Solopreneurs. Today we get to speak to Jill Salzman. She is a serial entrepreneur, a lawyer, an author, a speaker, podcast host herself, and the founder of the award-winning platform, The Founding Moms, that helps mom entrepreneurs build better businesses for themselves and their families. Thank you for coming onto the show today. Jill, it is such a pleasure to have you.
It is my pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me, Flavia.
I'm so excited because you and I are sort of twins, sort of clones. I mean, we're both lawyers. We're both entrepreneurs. Neither one of us is 100% lawyer, full-time lawyer. I was at one time, so I can't say that was always the case. But tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got to where you are now.
I probably got out of the lawyering much faster than you. I call myself a recovering attorney. I started out my very first business pretty much right after law school. I realized it wasn't for me. I worked in a law office for 2 weeks and I thought, this is just not the lifestyle I want. So I left and immediately launched something completely unrelated. I started a music management company. And I sent bands out on the road, did their touring, did their publicity. I loved it because I had a little bit of music experience in the past. And then after that, it was sort of start one company. Why not start 1,000? So I launched another company 2 years later. And then I launched my current company, The Founding Moms, in 2010. And here we are.
And here we are. So tell us about The Founding Moms. What's it about? What is that platform for? And who's your tribe? I mean, I'm assuming it's moms. I know they're entrepreneurs.
Well, it's you, Flavia, it's you. No, it's for any woman who is raising a family and running a business and is dying to know how to get better at marketing or branding or sales or all of those business components that we need answers to and feel like we're idiots for asking questions about. So we come together from all around the world. We're comprised of two parts. We have an online membership portal full of tons of educational resources, but we also have in person, when there's no pandemic, what we call founding exchanges, which are our masterminds in lots of cities around the world. So these women can get together and commiserate, be vulnerable together. They can be transparent and talk about how they're struggling in growing their companies.
Oh, moms. I love it. If you need something done right and done fast, give it to a mom. I'm serious.
Exactly.
Moms get it done. And so what is kind of the most common entrepreneurial venture that you see among your moms in your platform? Do you think that there's, if you were to do like a pie chart of all the different areas of business and interest, is there one that sort of dominates?
Yes, I think we're a bit skewed in the answer. So this is not across the board for every mom entrepreneur in the world, but we see majority of the time service-based businesses like fellow lawyers, like accountants, consultants, coaches, women who are building service-based businesses. We are all very service-oriented. I don't know how that really happened. That wasn't something I was hoping to find as we set out to do it. But I really think that we find a lot of these women can gather together and build together during the day, where perhaps a retail owner cannot meet with us because she's in her store selling her wares. So that sort of thing. And we don't see a lot of product-based businesses. We do see some, but they are not in our tribe as much as I would like. I'd love to get there.
So I'm curious, what's your take on MLMs, multi-level marketing, or others? There's lots of different models for it, but what's your take? Because I see that that's really prevalent, especially in the mom community, as some people's first foray into having a business or starting a business. But rather than starting something they create, they sign up for an MLM company and start promoting those products. So what's your take on that? Positive, negative, neutral, both?
I'm going to start with my very professional answer, which is that as an organization, we do not permit anybody who runs an MLM company, or rather works for one, to join us. So that really goes into how I feel about it personally. I do not enjoy the fact that a lot of these multi-level marketing organizations teach slash convince the women who come to work for them that these women are entrepreneurs and are starting something from scratch, because they're not. It's not their product. It's not their business. They are helping another business to build and grow. I am not at all putting that down as a way to make money. I think it's actually a brilliant way to make money, especially if you're built for MLM life. But we at the Founding Moms want to support and raise up other women who truly are starting from scratch, who are truly doing something that they have 100% ownership in and are probably not looking to make quick, fast cash overnight. They're in this for the long haul.
Yes. And I asked that question because one is your tribe is moms. And I find that it tends to skew heavy towards the moms whenever you see like the demographics of people that sign up for those companies. But two, because anytime I see that question mentioned in any entrepreneur group, it gets super contentious. And there's so, opinions, very strong opinions on both sides. And, I've on a few occasions jumped into the fray and sort of said my own 2 cents. But it's a very interesting question, really, is an MLM starting your own business? Is it being an entrepreneur? In my book, I think it works for a lot of people really well, but it is more of becoming commission-only salesperson. So it's really like you're working as a salesperson, like in the sales department for a company, but you're just being paid commission only. And on the downside, sometimes you actually have to pay for the privilege of becoming that salesperson. And that's, we can spend hours and hours talking about it, but that's my personal stance on the definition.
And I do want to say that at the beginning of launching the Founding Moms 10 years ago, we didn't charge anything for a few years. I didn't know what I was doing. I spent the money that I had sold a business previously. So I used that to launch the Founding Moms. So for the first 3 years when we didn't charge anything and people were just welcome to show up to our meetings everywhere, we saw a huge number of MLM women show up to the meetings. And the reason that I now carry the opinion that I do is because once we began charging, at first we charged $10 a month, then we charged $35 a month. We've grown over the years, but the more money we charge, the less we see MLM folks, because they only ever showed up to our meetings to find team members, to try to sell their wares at the meeting. And that's not really our mission. Our mission is much more about business education and camaraderie, emotional support, emotional well-being than any of the, hey, I got something, you might want it right now today at this table. So that's why I live there.
Well, it's great to get your opinion on all of that, but let's change gears real quick and talk a little bit about how you manage to stay so balanced in your own life. Talk to us. Is it a struggle for you and something you've mastered over time, or were you always just really good at keeping yourself balanced? And how do you coach people in your community to do the same?
I really don't think that I've ever achieved balance, to be honest. I don't really believe in it. I don't think it's something that anybody should achieve, partly because as an entrepreneur, if there's balance, what good does that do anybody? But particularly in entrepreneurship and parenthood, there's too much thrown at us every single day. If you are constantly striving for balance, you're going to be let down every single day. There's something new with a kid. There's something new with your job. There's something new with a team member. Whatever it is, there's too much fluctuation throughout the day and the week and the month. So I tend to look at it as though, do I have enough of a sense of emotional wellness in my week? I like to take it by week, not day. And if I have a good feel for, I'm feeling good this week, I'm very productive this week, and I'm a very participatory parent, I'm doing right by the world. And I'm doing well by my kids, and I'm doing a really good job at running a business.
And what kinds of things do you do that are more likely than not to create that feeling at the end of the week when you do your recap?
I have done a lot of working out my schedule over the years so that I do not overschedule. That's probably my number one. I am one of those folks who used to overschedule constantly and would even have to look at my calendar to see when I could go to the bathroom, that sort of thing. So I tend now to really make sure that there's enough space in my day so that I'm not overdoing it with meetings. I'm not overdoing it with conversations. I'm not overdoing it with interviews. And I have enough time for myself and my work that I then have enough space when it comes to, the kids are available, they're out of school. I can now be very present.
That's so important. And really scheduling white space into our calendars, very important. Family time, very important. Time for hobbies, so important. which is why sometimes if you want to really have a hobby, the easiest way to do that is actually to join some sort of like, let's say you want to take up knitting. If you join like a knitting club where everyone gets together and knits, a couple times a week, that's probably easier to accomplish for a lot of folks than just saying, I'm going to find some time and just make sure I do it once in a while, because then it's not on your calendar. But, make a commitment, whether it's with other people or just having it in your calendar as a firm commitment to yourself. And that really is very helpful for anybody that needs to cultivate more me time, right? More off work time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you're an author. So tell us a little bit about your books.
I am. And I'm so excited to tell you about them. I'm pausing because you're an author too. And you know how exciting this is. I wrote my very first book almost a decade ago now, when I had just launched The Founding Moms and realized there are not many books out there. And now I should say yet, because there are so many now, but there were not very many books for moms who were trying to figure these things out. So it's called Found It, a field guide for mom entrepreneurs. The first half of it really walks anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur through what it's like to build and how to do it. The second half of the book is all about how to do it with kids in tow. And then I wrote another book in 2018. I'm very proud of the title. It is called The Best Business Book in the World, according to my mom. And in it, it's really just a compilation of the daily newsletter that I send out to my members. It was sort of, the fan favorites, the best anecdotes and stories and inspirational tales and things that people, that really resonated with people. So I put it all together in a really fun, colorful book, and off it went.
That sounds like great couple of books for everyone to add to their list for sure.
Thank you.
You have a podcast. So what do you talk about on the podcast? Is it you or is it guest-based? And tell us a little bit about the theme.
Sure. I used to co-host a business podcast with another man named Brad Ferris. We ran one for 6 years called the Breaking Down Your Business podcast. And when the pandemic hit, we decided to close up shop. And so I took a very sharp turn and I launched my own podcast. And it's literally just me telling stories. All of my stories are blunders, screw ups, mishaps, and sob stories that have either happened to me or other mom entrepreneurs, because I don't think enough of us are highlighting or talking about the mistakes. So I do. And it's called Why Are We Shouting? Because there's a lot to shout about, but we really probably shouldn't.
And the mistakes are inevitable in not just business, but in life. And that's how we learn. And there's not a single successful company in the world that didn't make mistakes along the way. It's impossible.
Absolutely.
There's no perfection in the world. There's nothing that is just this perfect journey from A to Z. So I love that you share those stories with listeners. And I bet you it's a great way to sort of commiserate, but also to learn, because we learn from our own mistakes, but it's even easier and probably more helpful to learn from other people's mistakes rather than going through them ourselves. So I think that should be on everyone's list to listen to next. Give us the name one more time and if there's a website for it as well.
Sure. It is the Why Are We Shouting podcast. You can go to jillsalzman.com/podcast and you'll find all the episodes there. We're up to about 45 episodes now, and it is no fun to tell these stories. I just want to make sure you understand, but they come out as really, really helpful so that you all don't make the same mistakes that I did.
So helpful. And then other than being very strategic with your calendar, what are some other techniques that you like to use for saving time or increasing your productivity or just otherwise organizing yourself?
I am a huge tech junkie. And so there is a website I would love to recommend. It's not my own. It's called Product Hunt. I pretty much scour it every day so that I can download a new app and test it out. And the reason I'm saying this is it actually sounds like I'm way less productive, but I've tried to find the best productivity tools that I possibly can. And over time, I've amassed these fantastic tools that have helped me to see I can really systematize a lot of the stuff that I used to do manually and be able, I've gotten hours and hours back in my day. I mean, really, Flavia, I used to work at least 12 hours a day at a standing desk when the kids weren't napping or when they were in school. But I have come to know, I work maybe half that now because I really pay attention to what out there can streamline our processes and make them much more practical and much easier to not just be spending a ton of time doing. And the only other thing that I recommend to everybody in the universe all the time, Talk to people. You have to talk to people about everything that happens in your business. Most of the time, we're too embarrassed or we think that we're the only ones that happened to. And it's just not the case. It's never the case. And it always feels better to talk to folks. They've always got your back, particularly in a community like the Founding Moms, but you don't need to join a community to do that. Find a small group of colleagues, go to Starbucks with a friend. Don't care, doesn't matter. But you have to talk to people and not keep it all inside.
Such good advice. And I'm intrigued. So tell me, on Product Hunt, what are some of your top products that you discovered, that you've implemented, that have made a big difference in your business?
I literally recommend one every single day to my members. So I don't even know if I have a top 10. I don't know why this would be obvious. I'm a huge Slack user. That's made our work life a lot easier. I love Monday.com for sort of organizing all your thoughts and making lists upon lists upon lists. There's a really funny one. I'm going to throw it in here, even though we're having a serious conversation. There's an app called Marco Polo. It's not the app you're thinking of. It's not the video app. There's an app called Marco Polo that if you drop your phone between the couch cushions and shout Marco, if the app is open on your phone, which it should be, the app shouts back to you Polo, and you can always find your app, your phone. Yeah, it's
I love that one.
Life-changing.
That's a good one.
So yeah, oh my God, I could go on and on. There are so many. Pretty much my favorite that I found yesterday, Backflip. If you have any technology lying around the house, old phone, old Apple TV, old iPad, any technology, you open up your phone and in 3 clicks, you've sold it.
Oh, nice one. So that's a great way to sell tech. I mean, who doesn't have that box full of old tech that you no longer are using?
Exactly. Yeah.
And no one ever throws it away, right? It's like you don't sell it, you don't throw it away, it just stays in that box.
That's cash. They've done something to make it like unbelievably magically easier than even a lot of the resale sites that are out there.
Fabulous. And not just to sell, but I'm assuming you can also buy an extra phone or whatever you need on that same website. Is that right?
I found it yesterday, so I don't know. I only found the sales part of it. You're right, but I don't know how that works.
Well, thank you for sharing. We can explore with you as well. That sounds great. So what do you think that when you're running a platform, when you're running a tribe, I mean, is this set up as a membership or it sounds like it's kind of a membership platform. Is that?
It is. We sell a membership that permits anybody who joins us to not only go to their local founding exchange in their city, which all of our masterminds meet twice a month, but you also have access to a huge slew of personalized video courses in our library. We have a business coaching program. We have an affordable virtual assistant program where you can hire virtual assistants. We have an amazing directory, chatting community, webinars, boot camps. I could go on. It's a lot. And it's truly, if you have any questions about how to do this as a working mom, we're here for you.
But in putting this together, did you have one moment where you were worried or anxious or scared in this whole journey of building this successful business yourself?
Meaning by myself?
Well, as you built this platform, so you're the leader for these moms. I mean, you're really the one bringing these resources together and setting up the infrastructure and coming up with conceptually, what does the Founding Moms look like? Like that was all on your shoulders and it was your baby, your creation. Was there ever a moment of doubt or anxiety or worry? And how did you get past that moment?
Oh, all the time. I mean, I'm not going to say every day, but yes, there is constant doubt that crops up when a member is upset with something. Another member can't find something on the website. Another member is thinking about, or a potential member thinking about joining and doesn't join us yet. All of those can get really personal. For some reason, I'm not wired that way. So there's the question of, oh my goodness, is this going to work? Is this going to work? And then I just fly right past it. And it doesn't ever seem to bring me down enough that I get upset or I dwell. I'm just always moving on and charging forward and making sure there are always more mom entrepreneurs in the world to let know that we exist and we're here for them. So I don't tend to dilly-dally on that. But yes, there's an underlying current, I should say, that is ever constant, ever present. And I kind of sort of honestly hope it doesn't go away because it's partly what's built this and made me the entrepreneur that I am. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. That's kind of the underlying drive, right? It's just to be better and better and not to just, I guess, get really complacent. I love your whole story. Do you have a huge team or is this kind of a platform something like, let's say somebody else wanted to start their own platform, but maybe not mompreneurs, but maybe something like in their passion hobby. We mentioned knitting before. So they want to start a platform for knitting moms of America. Are you running this all on your own or do you recommend a team, and how big of a team does something like this really take to manage well?
Publicly, I'd love to say it's all me. No, it's definitely not me. I mean, again, I've been doing this for 10 years. So the first few years, yes, it was me. Then I looped in a graphic designer. And from there, we're about 6 people now. We're very small but mighty. And there's no way on earth that I could run an organization with hundreds of members and thousands of people coming in and out every day by myself. So yeah, we have an amazing team. And in fact, we might be growing it a bit more in the coming year. So yeah, no, I'm a big team believer.
That's great. Go team. So tell us a little bit about what you're promoting right now. And if people want to get in touch with you or learn more about the Founding Moms, where would they go?
Well, I think everyone should listen to your podcast because you're the most generous host I've talked to in a very long time. But if you want to come and join the Founding Moms, and if you're not sure, but you kind of are thinking about it and want to dabble in our community, go to foundingmoms.com. And I have a code that I would love to give everybody that will allow you to join us for 4 weeks for free. That's 2 whole meetings. That's a month of not being charged at all to have access to all of the insides of our community. The code is 1MO free, like 1 month free. So ONEMOFREE. Put that code in when you're checking out and we'll see you on the inside.
What a generous offer. Thank you so much for offering that for listeners. I know we have a lot of mom listeners to the podcast, so that I'm sure resonated with a ton of people right now. So thank you for that. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you today. I think you're just a fantastic person, so much fun, and you offer so much leadership to so many mom entrepreneurs out in the world. Continue doing that good work. They need you. We need you. It's fabulous to have you out there doing this. Thank you for being on the show, Jill.
So appreciate you. And thank you for letting me come on this platform and talk to everybody. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you again.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast, and if you leave a review on iTunes, I promise I will read every single review. If you know someone who makes a full-time living from part-time work, and maybe this is you, please visit lifestylesolopreneur.com to nominate a guest or to nominate yourself. Because remember this, money doesn't buy happiness, but money in the hands of a happy person, there is no greater tool.
Today's episode was brought to you by the Get Shift Done program. It's a lifestyle-changing online class to help you define your business and lifestyle ambitions, and to set goals in a way you've never experienced before. This class will 10x your daily productivity with methods that will blow your mind. And if you use a coupon code podcast, the class tuition is 99% off. Visit GetShiftDone.com to enroll today.